everybody, and actually I said this is Big Will. No, I'm Big Will. This is my channel, and we're going to have a few discussions here about a couple different topics, mainly surrounded around the overarching topic of CGC. And with me, sorry you're at work, BLC, but with me we have Who Dat Comics and Movies. What's going on, man?
What's going on? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Hello, Big Lion Cat. Always listening at work. But yeah, can't wait to discuss this because everybody's discussing it. So I can't wait to talk about it.
I know, but I think we are the first live show that's discussing it.
Yeah, because everybody's doing like pre-recorded.
Yeah, so I think we're the first live one. So that means the chat can actually have a bit of an influence here. And if anyone that we know wants to jump in, StreamYard's in the chat. So anyway, as you guys know, or you may not know, CGC put out an email, it was yesterday, I believe, and it said, hey, in order to serve you better and blah, 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 basically the same thing they said in April, we're going to change our fees. And they changed their pricing again. So first thing I think we should do is talk about what happened last time, and let's just go over some of these prices because, well, even before we get to that, you remember they had the Associate, the what was it, the Premium and the Elite.
Yeah.
And with one, you got
they had four. They had four memberships. We're missing one, but I can't remember it. They had four, which was a free one.
But we don't need the fourth one because it's the free.
Yeah.
But you got I think a 5% discount on grading, a 10%, and then the big one was a 15% on grading. So at the time, their modern tier was $20, but if you had a premium, you only paid $18, and if you had an elite, you were paying $17 per book. That's a pretty good price. Then they raised their prices in April of last year. And when they did that, they took away the 5 and the 10% discount, and they left the discount on the elite tier, but they dropped it 5%. So they were only going to get 10% off. But if you had the premium, which was the $150 one, that's the main one everybody had. You got stuck paying the $2 more, but actually you were paying $4 more because they raised their price by $2 from $20 to $22 per modern tier book. So we got a pretty substantial, if you do multiple books, increase right there. And then not only that, they changed the price on everything, and they deleted one of their entire services, and they combined it with the economy tier, and the price actually overall lowered for economy, but it raised for the older books that you had, and so it kind of was a break even, but everything else raised. So let me remind you, the modern tier is currently, and this was only in April when it was raised, it is currently $22. The economy tier, which is everything before 1975, is now $33. The standard was up to $75, and the express was up to $120 per book. Oh, and just a cherry on top, instead of being $10 for fast track, they upped their fast track to $15 per book. And not only that, a lot of people were doing the 25 book pre-screen. I know Who Dat, you've done it. I've done it. Yeah. Well, that's because when you got a book that was rejected, you only had to pay $5. They increased it, I believe the percentage was something like 60%. So in April, this changed, and this is current as of today. If you send in a pre-screen and the book is rejected and does not get graded, there is an $8 rejection fee. That's a pretty big fee. And remember, this is all current right now as of today. We haven't even talked about what's going to happen on the 18th when almost all this increases again. But just before we get to that, Hudat, what are your thoughts on this first one? I know we covered it in a video much like this when it happened, but have you changed
Yeah,
your opinion? Or?
the more you think about it, it's actually pretty bad. The more you think about it, and like especially for that middle tier, that majority of the people got, regular people, people just in the hobby that consider it just a hobby, got it. So it's basically a big fu to those people. Like, to me, because you didn't even have to increase the price. You could have just took away the percentage and you got an increase in price.
Yeah.
But they took the percentage away and increased it, which is like double dipping. And it's like,
and during the pandemic and everything, we're seeing it now with bags and boards and the price of everything. Like, I think the price in used cars has gone up like 30%.
Yeah,
so,
it's more expensive to get a used car than a new car.
Yeah, I understand people are having to pay more for stuff. And CGC was wanting to hire people. They just got bought out. This was in April. And they had the price increase and they took away the discounts for everybody except Elite, which is $300 a year, by the way. So not that many people were Elite. And so I don't like it, but I understand it, especially now that we're seeing the impact on everything. But what I don't understand is they have improved nothing. And they're raising their price again less than a year later. I don't get it.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. And I like some of the comments reading from Instagram or Facebook. If you read the comments in between, like people saying stuff, it's hilarious because people they're saying stuff, but you got to put your money where your mouth is. Like, I have to use an example, and I would love to get him on a show like this. Is Red Hood Comics. He's a big dealer, deals with thousands of dollars worth of books, and he put a good post saying, "I break GPA records with CBCS books on CGC prices," and he's not lying. He's not lying. I see it.
And that's because he does what everyone else should do. When he has a CBCS book, which is more and more of his books now, because he's gone pretty much just CBCS, or he's switched, is that he'll price it at whatever the highest price he can get for that book is. Most of the time, that's compared to a CGC. Because guess what? You're buying the book. You're not buying the company. You're buying the book for the grade that it's in. And no one can honestly tell me that CGC is so much more better at grading than CBCS that it warrants a price difference. Matter of fact, I would say if one of them is better than the other, it's probably CBCS.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with people comparing it, the UV protection. I see a lot of people starting to click on that and saying, man, if CGC had this, or if they did the signature verification, but they're not going to do it, and then they want you to recase your book, so they're not going to do the UV protection. So
yeah,
no improvement. Yep.
I don't know if they'll survive if they do that, my man.
No, they won't. They can't raise it annually. I think this was a strategic raise with the new buyout. I think the first price increase was necessary because if you believe them, I say like, because I don't know, nobody's got an inside look. Even people on YouTube who've gotten kind of in, but not really deep inside. You don't know if they hired all those people for real, but if they hire really all those people, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Yes, the first price increase was needed. Maybe I wouldn't have did as much as drastically taking certain things away, but it was needed a little bit. But to do it again, I don't know what, I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, I said this, I don't know if I still told Big Will this. I might have, but them doing it again is like Disney World. If anybody's been to Disney World, Disneyland, what do they do every year? They raise the price of admissions every year. They do it because they're getting too many people to come to the park, and they're hoping to price people out. But they forget people in the U.S. love debt, so they'll use a credit card to go to Disney and keep paying that increase in price. I know people who've done it. So I think that's what CG's trying to do, but it doesn't work. It didn't work. It doesn't work out well for Disney. So you think it's going to work out well? Like, hey, let's stop people from submitting.
Let's also remember Disney, as far as the customer's concerned, they haven't had a lax in their quality control. They haven't had.
You don't see Mickey with a rundown uniform.
Yeah, I mean, there's some differences there. But anyway, before we continue, let me go ahead and read the email that was sent and what's on their website about the announcements and updates and services for 2022 that they put out here. And then we'll go over. We're going to skip everything if it doesn't have to do with comic books. That's all we care about is the comic book. So posted on January 4th. The changes to CGC services and fees are effective January 18th. Certified Guarantee Company, that, by the way, in case you didn't know, that's what CGC stands for. It doesn't stand for Comic Book Grading Company. It stands for Certified Guarantee Company. Is updating its submission forms, fees, and tier requirements for 2022. A full list of the changes for CGC submissions is below. The updates are effective January 18th, 2022. The new fees will apply to all online submission forms completed on January 18th, 2022 or later. Online submission forms completed before January 18th must arrive at the CGC headquarters in Sarasota, Florida by February 18th to qualify for the old pricing. The new CGC Signature Series and Lobby Card grading fees apply to all submissions delivered to CGC on January 18th or later. There are no changes to CCS services and fees and no changes to CGC trading cards, grading services and fees. However, CGC Trading Cards is updating its return shipping fees for domestic USPS registered mail. For those updates, click here, and then it goes into the different prices. So here we go. CGC Comic Book Grading Tiers and Services. The modern tier is going from $22 to $24 per book. Economy tier from $33 to $35. Standard tier from $75 to $80. And the express tier is from $120 to $130. And then if we look on another page, we have the CGC Signature Series comic book grading tiers and services. Obviously, these were all lower before, but I didn't print those out. But until January 18th, the prices, if you want to look on the website, are the current prices today, not these prices. That happens on the 18th if you really want to know the difference. But a modern tier Signature Series is now $39. Economy is $50. Standard is $95. And express tier is $145. And it says, please note that the above CGC Signature Series fees apply to all submissions delivered to CGC on January 18th or later. And another thing that a lot of the guys that are not, oh, hey, there's BLC. Hey, man, I'm almost done here with the reading, and then you can lay on your opinions. Return shipping. There are no changes to FedEx. However, please note that CGC will no longer use UPS for return shipments unless the submitter has a UPS account. And they have updated their shipping fees for domestic USPS registered mail. Now, that's because of USPS, not CGC. However, I hate FedEx with a passion, so I don't like how they're getting rid of UPS. However, I will just get myself an account and take care of that. So that's basically all that concerns us with the email. BLC, thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. What's up, Big Will, and who that? What's up?
All right.
I'm just gonna say straight out, this is all about money right now. They're just getting greedy. They just did an increase, okay, and they figured, all right, well, they did an increase. They noticed that all the orders coming in has increased, and they know they're making more money. Said they probably said, hell with it, let's just increase it again because all these people, all they're gonna do is send books again, no matter what. And with the increase, we don't care. So they just, it's all about greed right now. It's not for improvement. It's not for anything else. Just like the first time. The first time they said it. They said it's going to be an improvement for, we need extra people. Understandable. They were overwhelmed with all the orders that came in. Understandable for that. But to do it in short notice, it's all about greed. They noticed that the orders have not stopped flowing. They noticed that everything's still coming in as high. So they're going to take advantage of it. Says, all right, let's see what happens when you increase it again. And you know what's going to happen? People are going to still send in the books. So it's going to favor them unless we, the community, get together and say, you know what? We're not standing for it. Do a little protest. Don't send no money and see what happens. And then see if they back down and go, all right, let's go back to the original price. But it ain't going to happen because everybody out here is just, they're out for themselves and they want the books get graded. That's all it's all about. It's all about money.
I like how you mentioned the last time they did this, they gave us a deadline, and they actually extended it because they were getting so many people wanting to send in for the deadline. They got a huge influx, which slowed everything down. You just watch. They got the George Perez signing, which is probably going to be one of their biggest signings that they've ever had. That'll slow crap down. And now with this new deadline for this new price increase, there's probably going to be a bunch of sycophants trying to load up on the CGC and just bombard them.
You know what's going to slow down? It's going to slow down now from opening up packages. You remember how you used to talk about that? That's what's going to happen. They've been opening package up pretty quickly to get it in the system lately, but I guarantee it's going to go back to week. Yeah, I guarantee it's going to be, hey, man, my package hadn't opened up in a month. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't understand why they want to get rid of UPS. What does that have to do with anything? Now they're going to get rid of money. What's the big deal? Who's paying for the return charges? Us. When they ask for how do you want your books back? UPS. Who pays for it? We do. So what's the problem?
It's a money thing. I kind of explained it to BLC in the background. It's probably not BLC. Explaining the Big Will in the background. It's above our pay grade, above people who's regular workers there. It's big wigs that know somebody at FedEx that were like, hey, let's make a deal with FedEx. But you got to knock UPS out. It's something going on that we won't know, and they won't tell us. They're not going to tell us. UPS probably was like, hey, if you don't want to use us, so be it. We're the biggest shipping company in the world.
Yeah, well,
that's what probably happened.
I don't know about you guys, but when my option when I want my books returned, I go with UPS. I do not ask for FedEx.
Same here. I hate FedEx. Nothing pisses me off more than doing CBCS and FedEx be the only option they give me.
Only option.
I hate that. Now with CGC, they're getting rid of UPS too. No, I'm going to get myself my own account if I have to do CGC, but I don't. I use CBCS, so I reckon I have to worry. But I feel bad for guys like you because I know how much better UPS is than FedEx. So all I can say is I'm sorry. I feel your pain. And we have someone else joining us.
Bubs in the suit. He's like the lawyer of the group. Make sure you're on off.
I have a bad connection where I'm at, so I'm just gonna be phasing it out. I just wanted to come in to say what I wanted to say.
All right, BLC.
Thanks for dropping in, BLC.
All right, not a problem. Like I said, it's all about money with CGC right now. That's all it is. It ain't improvement. It ain't nothing else but just greed. What's up, Bub?
What's going on, Cat?
I'll be watching.
You guys hear me?
Yes.
I gotta go back to work.
Yeah.
All right, BLC. See ya.
Bye.
Later.
So, your thoughts?
I got 3 letters for you. BGX. No. I mean, but honestly, the price. I don't know if you.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, that was me. I dropped my phone.
I was like, what happened?
Like, oh well, what happened? But basically, bottom line is, obviously they want more money. They're a business. They're going to try and get more money. The only thing that upsets me is that they made this big deal about mission accomplished or whatever. That's what I call it. I know that they called it something else last time, but to me, it reminded me of George Bush Jr. sitting on the freaking air carrier.
Oh yeah,
it's like mission accomplished. That's all I thought about when I saw that. I was like, oh my God. So if they're going to do that, if they're going to act like, everything is better and everything's fine and then increase prices, that's fine. But that's not the case. By their own admission, you can look at their own turnaround times and they're just as bad as they were before. Maybe they're a little better. And anecdotally, some people are saying that they're getting their books back faster, but they don't feel confident enough in that in order to put that on their website. So I'm going to go by what they're saying, and what they're saying is turnaround time doesn't support the price increase. And if you're going to say, people,
I found out what that is they were testing some new system that they were putting in place, and they picked random orders to get it done. So the people that got it really quick, that's what that was.
Hey, and that's all fine. I'm glad for those people, and I hope if I send something in, it'll come back just as fast. But if they're not confident enough to advertise it, then I can't believe that it's going to happen on a regular basis. If we're able to send books in at a reasonable price, that's fine. But there has to be some extra piece of the service, and we're losing that. We're missing that. Where's the increased quality control? Where's the increased turnaround times? If that's not there, and I'm sorry, but CGC grading hasn't been accurate for well over a year, if not 2 years, since I have felt confident with a CGC grade. Now, maybe some of them are, you can even say 8 out of 10 books that you get, you agree with the grade. But if those other two, you drastically don't agree with the grade, that's not a very good success rate for a professional grading company, in my opinion. 8 out of 10 is not good enough. 9 out of 10 is not good enough. If I have to pay for all 10, now if you told me 8 out of 10 are correctly graded, but then the other two that aren't, then that's fine. But that's not what's going on. So.
Yeah.
Hey. All right, guys. She'll be back in a minute. All right. Gotta go, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Well, okay. That was quick. I now can do the Comic Gains comment here. Second price increase in less than a year. I'm sorry, but you cannot defend CGC at this point. They're slabbing Invisible Comics. Yeah, I saw that on Comics Home. While there is people waiting for their books for a year or more. Yeah, I don't know do you watch any of Mint Hunter comics?
No, I don't.
Yeah, well, anyway, he has a YouTube channel. It's medium sized, probably like maybe he has 5,000-10,000 people. But anyway, he was talking about how he can't believe how he had the elite tier. So for him, this is a $7 increase for modern tier. And nothing is improved either time that they raise the price. So I think he's pretty much decided he's going to go raw for a while, and maybe some CBCS. Because CBCS is just as bad as CGC as far as their turnaround time and their customer service is in India.
Yeah.
But as long as
you're trying to improve on, as long as you
properly submit your books, you shouldn't have to worry about the customer service much unless something weird happens. And they have better cases. They have better pricing. They have better, I think they have better, resale value, because you don't have to worry about it rattling inside the case, but that's sort of that goes in with it's a better case.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, there are other free graders notes all the time for everyone since the beginning. That's also something that's special. CGC made it so if you have an account, it's free. But if you don't have an account, it ain't free. And there's no way to look it up. Simply, you have to have the number. You have to have a computer and put it in. You can scan the QR code for CBCS. So I know it has its problems, but I'm going CBCS. Even if they increase to $22, or excuse me, even if they increase by $4, like CGC has done April and now for modern tier, that's a $4 increase. That's still only $20 for me. So I'm still paying a lot less.
Yeah, this like all the guys says, like money grab. It's you just shake your head, you just wonder, and I got some stuff. He said my clients are, but yeah, I don't understand like what's going on over there because I got 3 submissions there currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
One I sent off in November, and all it says is scheduled for grading. You know, that's about that should be where it's at. It's fast track accounting. It hadn't got up to the time frame that they have listed, so I understand that. Now I sent off 2 fast track moderns in December. One the 2nd of December, one the 15th of December. Guess what the status says on those? Grading and encapsulation.
How long have they been there?
They haven't been there a month yet. Well, one was received a month ago, which was because it was just December 2nd. The other one was December 15th. But it's in grading and encapsulation already on both of those. And the modern tier is the longest tier.
CGC?
Yep. So like I said, they have no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, man, I don't understand. And yeah, I am literally the same way, Biggs. I got, I think 3 or 4 at CBCS, and I hate myself for not doing the fast track. And I have 1 book at CGC, and it's at CCS because I have to do restoration removal if it's possible. It's an ASM 41. I got a super deal on it, and I'm hoping it can be done by April. Cross your fingers, because I had to do it standard tier, and I did it since it's already there and everything. I won't have to worry about my pricing. And I didn't read this, but CGC did say if you have UPS as your return shipping preference, they will, if it's already there and in the system, they will ship it as you requested by UPS. So you don't have to worry about trying to change anything or anything like that. But just going forward, if you like UPS and you still are using, for some crazy reason, CGC, then yeah, you need to get yourself an account or you're kind of SOL because they just said bye, Felicia, to UPS.
And the reason why I sent these orders to CGC because people have been getting their stuff back pretty quickly. So I said, let me test it out. That's what I basically did. So let me test it out. And when the stuff popped up for grading, I was like, okay, all right. But guess what? They actually been in the grading and encapsulation tier for 2 to 3 weeks now. Yeah, so they literally got there. They didn't even go from scheduled grade. They going from they said delivered or whatever, received, and then it popped up grading and encapsulation within a few days. So I was like, all right. Let's see what's going on. And then it just got stuck there. Yeah. And somebody told me it's because of the plastic or something like that, but
that should be a week process or less. Once it gets into grading, not scheduled for grading, but into actual grading encapsulation, shipping it out, that should be like a 1 week thing or less.
Yeah, so I'm hopeful to get hopefully I can get those back in a couple weeks, but I don't have any confidence. But I probably just should have stuck with CBCS and paid for the express, the 2-day modern and all that other stuff that I like.
Well, you remember in my 5 things I learned in 2021 video, one thing that I definitely learned is unless the book has enough spread in it to afford a 2-day modern or a fast tier like that, I'm probably just not going to grade it and just keep it raw.
Yeah.
Because it's just too long either company.
Yeah, and the price the 2-day monitor. They increased it just a little too much, in my opinion. But
Well, I don't think so, because there's a lot of books that are still good for that.
yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, the books I sent, they all of the modern books, majority of them that I sent could have went for that 2-day monitor, because I sent the Vengeance 1, the NYX 3, books like that definitely would have been in a 2-day modern. Get it back as soon. First appearance of Grendel. Yeah, I need to get those back as soon as possible because it's worth it.
Yeah. And one thing I'll shout out CBCS, they're feeling the pinch of they're trying to hire people and everything, and they're also the price of everything's gone up with this bad inflation we got right now because of the pandemic. So what they do, they targeted a couple areas and raised price on targeted areas. They raised their price on their 2-day modern, and they raised their price on their fast track or whatever it is. So they did a targeted. They just didn't raise everything.
Yeah, and they didn't say, "Oh, we're
take
gonna just raise everything."
discounts either.
Yeah, they didn't get rid of discounts either. So, because I think they realized a lot of people is like, because what I heard a lot of complaints, people didn't mind the rise of prices, but when they took away the discounts, that's what people really got like. So you're gonna raise the price and take away my little discount? It's not like you're getting a big discount. You're taking my little discount.
Well, I heard. I don't know if this is accurate. It is not in the paperwork that they have on their website, but I heard that they're now taking away the discount for Elite.
I can believe it.
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't read that either.
I didn't read it.
We might not submit as much to grading companies, but I can name probably 5 dealers that submit hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I don't think they want to piss off those dealers like they already did one dealer, who's a pretty big dealer. I mean, when somebody's big enough where he leaves a company like Torpedo and starts his own company and still has millions of dollars of inventory, that's a big fish. If the other big fish would leave, they probably raise the price again on us little fish.
This is a good one. I wonder how this will affect more flippers. Higher CGC fees and the tax man wants a cut with the new law. First off, that new law can suck it, but you don't have to worry.
That new law is not
just take judicious notes and make sure everything you write down and keep your receipts, and you don't have to worry. I mean,
that's how I mean about the new law won't affect anybody. If you do a proper inventory and keep notes, like you said, that's not going to affect anything.
Yeah,
but the flipper thing, I
don't know about that, but
because you're talking about dealers, LCSs, and everybody, and how would it affect them? You'll probably see a small, you're not gonna. I shouldn't say increase in prices. You'll see less of an urge to give you a deal on a price.
Yeah.
That's what I'll probably say. A dealer might not want to give you a 25% discount like they used to, and they might only give you a 10% discount. Be like, oh yeah, if you're paying okay, it's 10% discount. So
Well, that's what I'm saying. I didn't keep in mind when I said that. I said it is not on the paperwork that they have on their website. It's not listed on anything branded CGC. I just heard that, and I'm letting you guys know in case it is true on the 18th. We can find out then when we go and look at the join button. But it is not listed. CGC has not announced it in any way. I could be wrong on that. I didn't hear it from them. I heard it through the grapevine from some comment from somebody. That's all. That's where I got that from.
Yeah, and there. And people, I don't see them going backwards in prices. The reason why I say this, because they're going to get an influx of orders being placed from here to the January 18th, because you got until like February to send them in. So you're going to see a big increase in people submitting again, which is going to add to the prices, and they're going to be like,
I had told Southern Comic Geek when we were doing a show a few days ago he was asking about the George Perez. Do you think that will slow the tiers down? I'm like, I guarantee it will. And then what do you know? They do something to even more make that prediction right. I bet you money we will see as high as 200 business days in one of these tiers. We might not, but I believe it if we did. And I'm saying that, keep in mind, because if you were to go and look up your phone here and type in CGC, and then you go to their services and fees, all you got to do is look at magazines to know how bad it could be.
Yeah, and I could give you the example because
Modern magazine.
Dustin did it. Yeah.
222 days for Modern Magazine. Guess what? CBCS has not come out with a magazine's case yet. So every magazine, neither has PGX or EGS. CGC is literally the only place you can go to get a magazine-sized comic or magazine in general slabbed if you want one slabbed. So your only option is to wait 222 days.
Or you will see an increase in magazine prices because would you rather wait a year or pay $120 and get it back in 14 days?
And in case you're wondering the math on that, that's how many weeks 222 days is.
Yeah, it's basically a year. That's what I said, basically a year. Because you got to count the week of you shipping it. That takes 7 days away.
Yeah. And in case anyone's wondering, I do this when I do my turnaround time update videos. I'm on volume 5, believe it or not. They keep changing, usually for the worse. CGC's modern tier is currently at 29 weeks and change.
And yeah, so the magazine tier got ridiculous because of the Last Ronin and the Kevin Eastman signing. I'm just gonna let people know that's what happened. It was a double-edged sword. Just like Big Will was talking about the George Perez and then the price increase, and you got a deadline. The magazine went up from because when me and Dustin from Two Brothers kind of submitted our magazines, it wasn't a Kevin Eastman signing, and Last Ronin hadn't come out yet. And the tier was under, it was like I want to say 40 days. Like 40 days. And by the meantime, our stuff sitting there, all this stuff happened. And it went from, we should get it back in a month or two to get, it took us 4 to 5, I think almost 6 months to get our books back. And it was like, I think it was December of 2020. We didn't get it back until like the late spring, almost summertime of 2021. So like, and then once that happened, and I saw like you said, it's like 200 something days now. If I get another Turtles book of magazine, it would have to be super high grade if I want to get it graded, and it's going to be the $120 tier, just because I'd rather have it back in a month than have to wait a year.
Oh, wait a second. They increased their prices. Let's just see how long the magazine tier is if you want it back in a month. Let's see. No, my friends, you're going to have to do walkthrough if you want it back in a month. Standard is 71 days.
I wouldn't do standard. It'd be walkthrough. That's what I meant.
Walkthrough. So that means you would have a minimum of $120 as of now. Let me see if that changed right here. They have magazine. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'll say it changed. Check this out, man. The magazine. Oh wait, that's signature series. My bad. That means it's on this next page. Okay, the modern tier changed to 32, and yeah, they really changed it. It's $120 minimum for a walkthrough magazine currently. On the 18th, it changes to $150 minimum.
Wow. They said, screw that $2. I'll raise you $30.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
let's just get crazy here. Okay, so the walkthrough on Signature Series magazine. Let's get this here. Let me go to magazines. Okay, the walkthrough for Signature Series magazine is currently $135. That's the minimum. Care to guess what it jumped to?
At least probably 165.
You hit the nail on the head. It's $165 minimum.
Yeah, I just like say maybe
they raised the minimum on both of them $30. Good night.
And it should not take that long to grade any book, magazine or comic book. You should not be able to send a comic or magazine in to get graded. Meet a woman, get pregnant, have a child before you get that book back. That should not be able to be possible. That is literally possible.
Yeah.
You can meet somebody, get married while you already sent the book off, get pregnant, have the child, and still not have your book back.
Yeah.
You probably have to sell it because you got a child now. You're like, oh, I'm happy I got this back. Hey, YouTube is for sale now because I have a child.
Can you believe that? Thanks to the press signing and all this deadline, someone could literally get it on with their woman today. She could get pregnant, go through the whole pregnancy, and give birth probably before their books will get back.
That is. I don't even know what to say about that. That is insane. I just thought about that and it popped in my head, and I was just like, we're paying all this money, because not many people submit one book. Let's say 1% of all submitters submit one book. Probably less than 1%. So you're submitting a lot. Like even C. Woodard, I saw him do videos about submit. He doesn't submit that much, but he submitted at least I think 7 to 8 books.
And he's returned.
So there he is.
What's going on? Go ahead, Houdat.
I'm just shocked by it when I just thought about you could literally have a child before you get a book back from CGC.
I'm shocked that you actually believe that all these guys out here in our community can find a woman and get her pregnant and have a child and still know the woman. Like she didn't just ditch him and all that, and get the book back. Like that sounds like an awesome year for that guy because a lot of guys in this community. They send 6 books at new prices for 5 more years and not find a woman in this. I'm just saying.
Oh, wait, but they could actually have all that happen and still not get the book back. That'd be a terrible year too. Be like, wait, I met a woman, got pregnant, had a child, lost a woman, still have a child, but I didn't get my book back yet. That's a terrible year.
You're right.
Hey, you send a magazine to them today. You could find the woman, get the woman pregnant, have the child, go away. You get another woman, get her pregnant, then have the second child, and you might have your book back.
There's a chance that the woman in the magazine is now on Social Security and disability because she's lost her modeling gig. She's 40 years older. You never know. I'm just saying, you never know.
Dude, these numbers are just, oh my God. Like,
it's rough.
I did the math on the magazine. It's 222 days or 44.4 weeks. And the 149 business days for a modern tier comic translates to 29 weeks and change. Yeah.
And I think Kevin Eastman is actually going to be doing another signing with CGC. I'm just throwing that out there, what I've heard. I might have gotten an alert about that. I can't remember, but if that's true, if that's true, magazine tier will crack 300 days.
I was about to say it's done 250 before.
Yeah, it will crack.
It'll go to 3.
It'll crack 300 this time, especially with all of those last Ronins that are out now. Before it was just the issue 1. It was just issue 1. Now you got issue with up to 4, and then you got all the other magazine turtle stuff. And oh man.
So, Bub, got a question for you. What do you think about the standard or the modern tier or excuse me, I think they call it economy now. The modern or economy tier. How high of a turnaround time do you think will hit? Because not only do we have the Perez signing, and I imagine there's going to be a bunch of those books because the sad news with George, and they have this deadline, and everyone's going to try and beat the deadline for January and February.
Well,
Do you think we'll crack 200 days in the comic books?
I think it's possible. I think what you said there about the deadline, the 18th, is a big deal because, there's two ways to drive traffic, right? Or to drive customers to you, right? One is to offer some sort of discount, right? And another is to say, for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be lowering prices. Obviously, that's not happening, right? So we're lowering prices for the next 3 weeks because we want to get more business. Another way to do it is to say, hey, we're going to raise prices in 3 weeks. So you guys better hurry up and send your stuff in now before we raise the prices. So everyone's rushing in. Either way, you're still increasing the number of people you're getting rushing to you. You just made more money, after the fact. Whereas before you kind of come back to normal. Now you get to raise prices. I think that rush of people trying to submit books will increase it. But other than that, look, CGC may be stupid in some ways, but the people that are counting the beans over at CGC and their new investors are not stupid. And what they found was that they increased prices a year ago or less, really, and it did not stop people from submitting books. So the normal thing for a business to do would be to do that again and again and
Until
again.
it does something.
And then all of a sudden, when they see that margin go boom, and people stop sending in books and they're not making as much money, because remember, it's not always about quantity. It's about overhead and profits. So in other words, if you had 100 people sending in books, but you're charging $20 a piece versus maybe 98 people sending in books, but you're charging $22 a piece, you'd rather have the 98 books than the 100. So submission count isn't where they're making their money. They're making their money off profits per submission, not total submissions. So it's not like they're trying to corner the market, get as many people to submit books as they possibly can. They'd rather grade less, encapsulate less, which would increase the rarity of their product and would give them less, force them to hire less people. Like they don't have to hire more people. They don't have to expand storage space. All they have to do is charge more per item, and they can process those items more cheaply and increase their profits. So the only thing that will change prices, the only thing that will stop price increasing will be less submissions, and not only less submissions, but it has to be so far less submissions that now they're losing money. So the bottom dollar has to change somewhere. So if they can charge more per and process less faster, people will get their turnaround times back. So they're going to keep pushing it until people stop sending in books or less books, because people send in less books, and then they'll see where they're at then. But they're just going to keep pushing prices.
With how many sycophants to CGC there are out there, I don't think we'll see much of a decrease until they raise it to like over $30 for a modern tier book. I foresee that having to happen before people really stop in a significant manner. And by the way, I know you didn't plan it, Bub, but when you first said they'll stop, you froze for a minute, and it was perfect timing.
But look, I want to, and then you got to look at who invested in CGC too. You got to do and I told people this before, do a little research on Blackstone. Blackstone is literally investment. Get in, make their money, and they increase stuff and get out. So once that thing, like Bub said, happens, they're gonna get their profits and leave. And so they're gonna be gone. They did it to Hilton Properties, and guess what? Hilton kept a lot of that stuff that Blackstone did, which was stupid. So they want to get to a point, like he said, they want to get for using a Hilton as an example for CGC. If they have a whole room of floors being sold out, they want to have one person cleaning that whole floor. when they used to have multiple people cleaning the whole floor. So CGC wants to get to a point where, yeah, we're selling. We got 1,000 books coming in, but we just want. I just want to have one person, grading all these books, not 20 like we normally have. So they want to get to a point where they don't have that many people, and they're still getting a ton of stuff. And then, like you said, quality control is going to have a big issue because it happened with Hilton Properties. They started getting, issues with the people, customer service. People weren't happy with the rooms, weren't getting clean, all kind of stuff. So you're going to see a lot of issues because that's what Blackstone is. Blackstone is an investment, get in and get out company. They're not trying to keep CGC and build it up and I want to be part of this community. No, they want to get as much money as they can and get the hell out of there as soon as possible. So I wouldn't be surprised if Blackstone didn't sell it within a year because they're going to, why they're going to sell it within a year after the second increase? Because they're going to go to somebody else who's a big fish and say, hey, look what we did in the last year and a half. They're not going to tell them they raised prices to get there. They're going to say, look, we got to this. We had this many submissions come in. Yeah, we hired some people, but we did it efficiently with this amount of people. So you don't have to hire more people. You don't have to, so they're going to do that. And then they're going to get out of there. And then the person who takes over is going to be like, these bitches sold me a bag of lemons. So like they're going to be, so that's what's going to happen with Blackstone, and CGC. I hate to say it.
I just now realized, CGC isn't worth the $500 million that was paid. It's the whole certified collectibles group, which they have 7 different grading companies that work with them, and CGC is just one of them. Yeah. And I'm going to look at PMG and see if they have a price increase or if it's just the comics.
I can tell you the cards did at the same time they had it last time. Their card,
guys,
sports cards.
In just a few minutes, no one's going to be paying me to talk to you guys, so I got to go.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for having me on. Great topic. Good luck to anybody submitting books to anywhere, and I hope you get them back before your dream girl hatches your brood. All right. Catch you later.
All right. You can say, your kid graduates kindergarten.
Check this out. PMG will offer expedited grading and encapsulation of U.S. and world paper money at the 2022 Fund Show in Orlando. And they have a list of their expedited services and fees. So looks like it changed a little bit there, but it doesn't say that that's a standard change.
I know for a fact last increased is it CSG?
I'm looking at CSG right now.
Yeah, CSG last increased their prices, which they had just started grading sports cards. So I was like, why are you increasing when you just started? And they increased on the last one. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. They didn't increase too.
Yeah, no, actually, it doesn't say that they increased it. Was bulk 250?
Yes.
Okay. So they haven't changed then.
Yeah. So and that's the only reason I stopped I stopped getting deeper into other collectibles because once they increased their prices on that, I said it's really as far as me collecting and selling, I have to focus on one. I can't do comics and sports cards. And I can't. I love sports in general, but I was like I can't do both because the price doesn't it doesn't make sense to me. And plus, sports card people are worse than comic people, and they only want PSA or BGS. Some of them like the other one that I know Jeff Silversmith uses. I forgot the name of the company. They'll take that, but beyond those 3 companies, they don't want anything else graded. So I can show you this card I have right here.
Well,
they would rather me have it raw.
Yeah. So what do you think of Emmanuel here? CBCS is also not stepping up. I think that's a bit of a misnomer, because if you look at their turnaround time for their lowest two tiers, their version of CGC's Modern and Economy, they've slowly had to increase their turnaround time, and it hadn't gotten any quicker.
Mhm.
However, if you notice, if you were to watch some of my turnaround time update videos, you would notice that CBCS hasn't changed on those, but they've actually changed on 3 other tiers. They've gotten faster. They were able to clean those up. And remember, they're much smaller than CGC.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying, but it's a bit of a struggle because they're being bombarded with it. Especially every time CGC does something stupid like this, their CBCS is bombarded with people that are like, well, maybe I'll try you. And they're trying to make things faster.
Yeah.
And it's just not happening at the rate I think we would all like to see.
Yeah, and I could tell you one thing different about CBCS, since they're run by Beckett, the second probably biggest card company in the world. If they got that bad like CGC, they wouldn't have a problem shutting the door for like a few weeks just to get everybody's stuff caught up, because they've done it with the card company, and they like make way more money with the cards. They've stopped it for a few months. And that's the one thing that CGC will never do. They're not going to stop to catch up.
Yeah, I think CBCS Beckett might be waiting until they have to raise their turnaround times to the same or worse than CGC, and that's their tipping point of, okay, stop it, let's get caught up.
Yeah, that's when you'll see like the website will be down for submitting. Like you can't submit books. It'll be down for a few, and which I wouldn't mind them doing that, because that's their secondary company, or it might be their third company. I don't know what other Beckett has under their umbrella.
This right here, customer service is still bad. Yes, that's been bad for a few years. I don't know why they haven't changed it yet. It's horrible finding someone that doesn't even speak your language.
Yeah,
it is a pain, and they're in India, and they can't access everything. They can't just run down the hall to grading and find anything out. And my regular order from July is still in processing. Yes, your regular order.
Yeah, right. He didn't say fast track or anything.
Yeah, that's why it's still taking so long, as they haven't managed to get that one faster yet, and that's the one more people do. But if you were to do a 2-day modern, you'd find that's actually pretty quick.
Yeah,
I totally agree, man. The customer service. That if CBCS and CGC would change customer service, I think everyone would finally see who needs to do what.
Yeah.
Because I think CGC's customer service is hiding a lot of their downfalls or pitfalls or whatever that people aren't noticing, and the fans keep going to. And I think CBCS is bad customer service, because that you can't understand. Well, at least their phone customer service is keeping some people away, because it labels is not the big deal.
People try to say it's the labels, but
that's a tired argument. It's that right there. What Emmanuel said is the customer service. It's that bad. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, because if it was labels and case, then you'd be like, oh, the case for CBCS is better. Yeah, the labels are, but it's the customer service 100%. And I wouldn't be surprised, since who owns CGC now, if CGC doesn't change the customer service, people just be aware of, like I said, the company that bought them out, like, or invested in them, or however you want to say it. And they look at the bottom line and say, hey, yeah, people might hate our customer service who switch to India calling base, but we would save X amount of dollars. They're going to take the saving of X amount of dollars, because you know why? Because people are still going to submit to them.
Yeah. Until that changes, man.
Yeah. So they once they get deeper into that, that'll be one thing that they'll change.
Another thing that'll really help to take the pressure off CGC and CBCS is if my friend Tony Trombetta can get his new case ASAP and put it out and let us all on YouTube, like me, Reggie Collects, a bunch of the other guys that, you if we could, advertise his cases and everything, and if
Mhm.
he's smart about hiring people and grading and keeping his quality control up, I think he can really take some of the pressure off. And man, he'll skyrocket, I think.
Yeah, it'd be very strategic. He could easily be a third player in the game. Easily. He could overtake PGX.
He's
easily.
about there now.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, just doing the simple things like that would happen. And I have books that I'm not trying to sell that I would send to him to see his new labels. I could easily pull a couple books here right now that I was like, yeah, these are not. I'm not selling them, so I want to test out your new case and see how it looks. Blah blah blah, and let's work. Because it's not always about flipping. Big Will has a PC books that he likes to get. I have also. A lot of people who sell have those things unless you are a legit dealer. If you're a legit dealer, then yeah, every book's for sale.
Yeah, well, I mean, if I have a Wolverine #1 of the current series, if you offer me $500 for it, I'll sell it. But that's because it's not worth that.
Yeah, that's the same thing with like the Black Panther. I'm not selling it, but if you offer me like twice the GPA, yeah, I'm gonna sell it because I can go rebuy it. I can go rebuy it for cheaper.
Yeah. But man, EGS, I wish we had Tony on to hear what he had to say. That'd be cool.
It's a few people I would love to talk about this topic. Tony would be one of them, and Red Hood Comics because he's a big dealer. Just because, and he put a good statement out if anybody wants to see what Red Hood said, because I kind of summed it up earlier, but he had a long statement talking about it and basically saying like they haven't. Somebody said earlier they haven't fixed their quality control. They haven't fixed their quality control. So, in order for you to justify it, you have to fix the simple thing of quality control. And if you can't help somebody who spends hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, talking about a single person, then what do you think they're gonna do with little old us who spend a couple $100? Like it's so yeah. They need to fix the quality control a lot on that. He said, "Yeah, oh yeah, comics on the edge. He doesn't mess with. I think he has some orders still at CGC because how slow they are. Because he's still getting some books back from CGC." And he's probably going to do the George Perez signing, but yeah, he's all in on CBCS, and he probably would say the same thing like Emmanuel said earlier. Customer service is their only heel. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to make mistakes. So the occasional mislabel, the occasional bad grade. Okay, yeah, mistakes can happen, but overall. Worst thing about CBCS is that customer service. And I mean, I don't know how Tony would do it, but as of right now, if you call EGS, I think you get him. So that customer service would be fine.
Yeah, and I think like he would probably keep it some kind of way, keep it local And it's the way CBCS can fix that to keep it local. You just. Oh yeah. I've called multiple customer service. Talking to somebody in the U.S. and they'll tell you the wait time is 45 minutes. So you're like, do you want us to call you back when we are available? Yeah. Call me back when you're available. So I don't have to be on hold. That's perfectly fine. That's all CBCS has to do. But CGC with these price increases are ridiculous.
In Dallas, Texas, there ain't enough 25-year-olds looking for work to get in there.
You can go to any one of those major colleges and hire probably 50 people easily. At one of you got Texas Tech, any one of those major colleges. You don't have to be exactly in Dallas. You can be Texas Tech. You can be the University of Texas. What else they got? You go to Houston University, which is a big school. They got a lot of schools that you're like, hey, if you want to make over minimum wage, $15 an hour, answering forms for 8 hours. Come over here.
Yeah, now don't go with El Paso or anything that far away though. You have trouble if you go that far away.
But yeah, I'm CGC is, you know,
Thanks anyway, man.
yeah,
Appreciate
yes,
you.
yeah, CGC. I'm very
Yeah. Okay.
very
Tony,
disappointed.
he's driving to a meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just disappointed in CGC. I'll say it like that.
I am.
You know, yeah, you know, I want both companies to do well because that's my mentality of U.S. kind of capitalism. You know, if you have multiple companies, it's better for all of us. You know, but when you price, that sounds like a sale. When you price people out, and but I think you might not see a lot of those. Like, let me see if I can just pull a random book. Like, you might not see any of this like brand new book. Like, you know, hey, let me get like this book here. Like, hey, let me get this book graded. You know, you might not see people that say, let me get this Mark of the Cane graded. You know, this Marvel Premiere 2033 that really has no significance, nothing to do with it. You probably see a stop from CGC of those type of books, like these type of books, because people be like, well, it doesn't make sense to submit it, especially since it's going to take a year to get it back without a fast track.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Gamma
says.
Yeah, I'm gonna try one more thing here real quick. I'll highlight that once I hit mute for myself.
So Gamma says CGC is flooded with spec books to grade over true collector books to grade. Well, here's the thing with spec books. A lot of those spec books are still key books, so that's kind of like weird too as well, because you know spec books are key books. Majority of them are. So people could be getting spec books rated, but it could be for people who are really collectors and don't have that book, and they can get it graded, get a graded copy. So that's kind of a weird subject. It's side for me because that's how I feel about it. Yeah.
I don't think that will increase until the price gets so high that it doesn't matter what it is. You know, you can't do a regular tier submission.
Yeah,
a fast track to make up.
Yeah, now people submitting this random books to get graded, that might stop eventually. Maybe not now yet, but yeah, you're not gonna be getting Blackbird #5. I just made up something, graded, just because you got all the other Blackbirds graded now. I don't know.
And if we know you and you want to join this conversation here, I'm putting it in the chat. So Gamma, you feel free if you want to join in. And I did Red Hood Comics. He hadn't even seen it yet, so I'm just going to unsend. But I did try.
Okay, yeah. I would. He would
probably gets thousands of messages though.
Oh, he gets thousands of messages because of him selling stuff, and but I would want to talk to him about it, but I'll be afraid to talk to him about it because he's straightforward, man. He's gonna tell it. He gonna but he adds a little like F those guys type to it. You know what I mean? Like that's what so it's kind of like it's kind of funny.
That's true.
Rotten Tomato.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of true, but you can. This is a spec book. I could say it's a spec book, but it is a first appearance. It's first Harpy.
Yeah, but it's first Harpy. It's a classic character, been used multiple times. A classic run, classic book, classic cover. He's probably talking more about new stuff that's like a first appearance that who cares about, like Wolverine 2 of the current series.
Okay, not something like that, or even I wouldn't even consider Strange Academy 1. You could say it's a spec, but it's not really
one of the best spec books that's come out in the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's right. That's completely. it's really basically a random book.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. They had some other books like that.
Yeah. Yes, it's a first appearance, but so is every book that shows a character for the first time. I know that's obvious, but think about it. There's a lot of first appearances that no one's really going to care about until something happens. And CGC wouldn't even put it on their thing or their label, or neither would CBCS until something happens.
Yeah, I don't even think they did for Strange Academy when people were sending those the very first ones in. I think it was blank, just like the Age of what's it with the Asian team?
New Agents of Atlas.
Yeah, New Agents of Atlas. Like I remember submitting that book when it first came out. It had nothing on the label. So yeah, yeah. Well, I would say it's a true key now, Gamma, but like I'm just saying, like when you first submitted it, like within the first couple of weeks of that book coming out, they didn't have nothing on the label. They had nothing on the label, just like Agent of Atlas. Agent of Atlas.
Like I said, feel free to join us, Gamma. Strange Academy 1 is now a true key due to multiple appearances, 11, in case anyone was wondering. However, in my opinion, those characters are not significant because they have not done anything that great yet. I think most of them haven't even come out of that series.
Yeah. It's that's a legitimately 100 new series. Like the Agent of Atlas, at least a couple of those characters are doing other stuff. You know, like I think Swordmaster is about to become the new Iron Fist. So it's like they do like at least those characters like mixing around, doing things. But
here's the question I have though. Pretend you know nothing about CGC versus CBCS. If I told you this book is worth $100, it's Strange Academy #1 if it's a 9.8. This is a guaranteed 9.8. Would you rather spend $24 and wait 29.2 weeks before it gets back? Or would you rather spend $16 and wait 25 weeks before it comes back?
It's if you I'm a numbers person, so that's an easy question. It'd be $16
and 25 weeks.
Yeah.
That for those of you that may not know, that would be CBCS. See, we got to stop thinking the companies because they both grade overall really well. Mistakes are made with everyone, even you who's watching this. You make mistakes too, so do I. And we need to stop worrying about a label. It's the grade on the label that matters and the book that's inside. Mm-hmm. So if everyone just did the numbers like you just did, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's the numbers that. Yeah, it's an easy answer. Like I would pick the lowest price to make the most money because that's what I'm ultimate goal. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's a lot of. To me, we're not millionaires and we're not big dealers. Big Will probably will get there eventually because I think he has a goal and a good idea for selling and stuff, but we're not at the submitting hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Yeah. So, if I was at that price, like an example, like I use Red Hood, he's spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a year submitting books. Guess what? Now he could save 10,000 or more going to CBCS because CGC screwed up their quality control, so they lost a customer. Now he's saving money submitting to them.
Would be fun? Let's just do the math on that. He sends $100,000 worth to CGC, we'll say. Divide that by 24. That's 4,166.6 books. Now let's do the same thing. $100,000 worth to CBCS, all modern. That's 6,250 books. And he sells them for, let's say, $100 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
That's $625,000 or $400-something thousand.
Which
one would you like to have?
Yeah.
And that's just by going to a cheaper case. that is only cheaper in cost. It is not cheaper in its strength.
Quality. It's not cheaper in quality and the product, especially with the UV. To me, they with adding that they could charge more. You don't have to recase it. Like that's all I can say is you don't have to reslab it. Like CGC tells you every 10 years you need to reslab.
I don't think they say that on their current ones, but all the older ones, that you used to. Used to be every 5 or 7 years, I think.
Yeah, so it's like the other one with CBCS, you don't have to at all.
Nope. I mean, can you imagine just the savings when you get up there? That's why I will send on a good year maybe 150 books to get graded. Maybe 200. That's even at that small amount. That's a big impact because
that's $4,080 if you submit a CGC. 200 books.
Yeah.
4,000.
200 times 16 for the modern tier. That's 3,200.
Yeah. Saving up like $1,400 that you can invest. You can invest in other stuff.
This is what I was saying. Every company will make mistakes and have some bad things. Sadly, Gamma is one of the victims of BCS mistake.
Yeah, and my buddy Yahweh, who sells with me on the auction, he had the same issue as well because I submitted some books to CBCS. I got them back within a week. He submitted books in the same like he mailed them the same time. And they took like months to get them done, like months, and they were 2-day moderns. So, they all make mistakes. I mean, I've submitted to CGC and gotten stuff. I've never gotten stuff fast, but I've gotten bugs in my books and other stuff like that.
Yeah, I once submitted a book to CCS for pressing. This is before I was even ever warned to never use them. But and then we had get it grading. It comes back graded like a 9.8. But if you look on it, it had dirt because it wasn't cleaned, and it had a corner crunch because it wasn't pressed. But yet it was still a 9.8. So CCS took my money and didn't do a job, and CGC put a 9.8 on it when it's clearly not a 9.8. I couldn't sell it. I just cracked the slab and gave it away to someone as just a waste of money. So
I had a book, ASM 299 that was signed by Todd McFarlane when he did that signing. It came back at 9.8, and I knew it wasn't a 9.8. So instead of cracking, I just raffled it off, which I thought was fair because if somebody might spend $5 on a Todd McFarlane signature book, but I didn't even want to keep it.
Here's the question, though, BLC, is I understand that, but there's got to be a breaking point. You were angry at CGC, talking about it's all about the money when you were on here. Are you going to still go with CGC?
Are you slowing down,
or are you slowing down, or are you going to try CBCS now? I mean, which is it? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are grumbling and complaining, but they're also the same people that'll probably keep submitting stuff and not actually we see any decrease in times or anything because everyone keeps submitting. So my question is, what are you going to do? You going to slow down, switch, just stop for a while?
And that's technically what I've done is I've slowed down when the first increase happened for both companies. And then all of a sudden I saw people getting their stuff back from CGC faster than CBCS. CBCS was having all these issues from people I know. And I said, all right, let me try CGC. And now I see they're back to their old antics. So I'm probably going to have gone back to CBCS. So it's, which I was going to go back anyway, but it's just that it's like a cycle with both companies, but I'm not loyal to any one company, even if a PC book, as long as it's protected, graded, I'm happy. If it's a PC book, if it's a book I'm selling, I can care less. it's all about the margins at the end of the day. What can I make from either company? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm selling it.
So just to show you guys how I understand the pain of waiting a long time, this is my CBCS right here. I'm bringing it up on my phone because I don't want to show up my email and everything to everybody. But here are the dates that I have. I have May 6th. It was pressing and cleaning, or pressing and grading. Just got out of pressing like a month ago. So I still got the same. I still got that 25 weeks for grading. I got June 30th. That one is in grading actually, but it's been there for a while. I got October 19th, and then November 9th. So I'm going to be feeling the pain of waiting, and because all that's regular. I didn't fast track any of that. So that's another reason why I said in my 5 things I learned in 2021 video, I highly recommend, is I'm going to stop submitting, unless it's for the PC, the lower tiers, and just make sure when I submit something, it's like a New Mutants 98, Wolverine 1, or Silver Age, ASM 33, stuff like that I can send at a faster tier, and it'd be worth it.
Okay, that's a good question. It's kind of like I wish they were on the show. He could ask a question to him live. That is a good question. But he just answered him. I think I might switch to
If they get out of hand, you might. At what point is out of hand though? Because right now you were selling, paying $18 if you, or actually $17 if you had the elite tier. And now if you have the elite tier, you're paying, well, with the increase, I think you're paying $22 if they still have the discount. If they do away with the discount, you're going to be paying $24. So, best case scenario, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, you're paying $5 extra per slab now.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. What do you mean by get out of hand? Because
so at what point did they get out of hand? Biggie's mentioned $40 a slab. Is that it?
Yeah, because like he submits a lot of stuff for his PC.
Oh yeah,
and that no offense, like a lot of them don't have any significance, but it's for your PC and he wants them all graded, which is understandable. But like, when does it get out of hand that you'll be like, man, I want to get this graded. I want to get my books graded, but I'm not going to send it,
I know CGC and CBC, I know you don't care about turnaround time much because you do a lot for your PC, but I'm curious as to what is the point that they get out of hand for like the PC books.
Yeah.
That's what we're curious about. And I don't worry, I'll be contacting you soon for some press work, my man. And it will be CBCS, and it will be a higher tier that's faster.
Yeah, because I got a couple of books that I don't know where I'm going to send them. I'm probably, since those are investment books, most likely going to go to CBCS, and I'm just going to probably right underneath the walkthrough for those 2 books that I showed Bigwell earlier. But just so I can get them back faster. And I might have to pay a little bit more, but I'd rather get them back faster and not pay a little bit more and still have a high turnaround time. Because even walkthrough with CGC is like 2 weeks, I think, or more.
Yeah, CGC's walkthrough is 14 days.
Yeah. So it's more than 2 weeks.
Business days, so that'd be 5, 10.
Yeah.
That's 3 weeks.
Yeah. So it's more than 2 weeks. So like those 2 books that I showed earlier are probably most likely investment books.
When we were doing Red Hood, doing that math, we forgot dealers.
Oh, it's a discount. 14,
yeah, 14. So $100,000 worth divided by 14. That means he gets to send in 7,142.8 slabs.
So
versus
almost
the
double.
4,000 something from CGC.
Almost double.
Yeah.
He thought that out. Yeah, he thought that out a lot because that's what he probably looked at. and looked at numbers and look at how much he submitted, the most he submitted, and probably broke those numbers down like you did. And the more other dealers do that, we might have an issue with CBCS get overcrowded, but I think they'll have a better fix than, hey, let's raise the prices and not fix anything.
Actually, you got a calculator handy?
Yeah, I can.
Well, you figure out how much 100,000 books, how many he could do at CGC for $100 a piece, and I'm going to figure out for $80 a piece because of that price difference that doesn't really exist for the CBCS books.
$100 a book for the 100,000 books, you said? Wait,
$100,000 is what he spent.
Okay.
How many slabs is that, and how much is that per slab at $100?
Yeah, it's only 1,000 slabs. 100, because 100,000 divided by 100. No.
Divide 100,000 by 24.
Oh, okay.
22, and then figure it out that way.
I did 24 because the price increases like literally 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's 4,166
times $100 a piece.
Jesus, that's a freaking ridiculous number. It's 416,000. 416,666.66666.
Okay, so I did $100,000 to CBCS at the dealer rate of $14 a slab, and then I multiplied that at $80 a book. He would get to have $571,428.
Yeah, so I think quality control played a price on him switching, but I think when he did the numbers, it made him switch even more. And now, since he's selling books at the same prices, I mean, he'll give you, if you shoot him an offer, like anybody selling some. Yeah, if it's a reasonable offer, he's going to take it. But
don't assume if you send someone an offer that, oh, I'm getting the CBCS. No, you're getting a reasonable offer based on the price that they paid versus the price it goes for in the maximum.
Yeah. I've sold CBCS books and CGC books for a very good price, 20%, maybe more off, because I've gotten those books super cheap. So it's because some people thought, oh, appreciate that, Gam. I'm gonna check it out. People have thought, and I've sold CBCS books. Like, oh man, you sell it for like 25% cheaper than CGC. I'm like, nah, but I got the book for like $5. The book I could sell it and wait for the $500, or I could get a buyer right now for $300.
I mean, I don't see any difference in how I price. I look at GPA, cover price, and eBay, and I come up with my price based on the grade and the book. I don't care who they're graded by.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I base my pricing on.
Yeah. The only thing I would probably, if it was PGX, but I'm not trying to sell PGX slabs.
Yeah, I don't sell PGX. I can't sell something that's an 8.0 that could easily be a 6.0 and maybe
restored.
or maybe Mark Jewelers and no one said anything, or maybe it's signed and no one knew, or maybe it's not signed but it's signed. I mean, I don't. He says, I'm paid up for this year's CGC. I'm going to see what it costs me to send books. It might be my last year with CGC. That would be a headline if you decide to switch, my man. Let us know.
Yeah. I price the same way. I price the same way, and I adjust my prices accordingly to what I have invested in the book.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna obviously take a loss on something when I don't need to, especially if the book's selling for certain prices. Like if the book's selling for $1,000 and like I have $500 invested in it, I'm not gonna sell it to you for $400 because it's a CBCS sale. I'll probably sell it for less than $1,000 just to sell it faster. But that's not because it's a CBCS slab. That's just because I know what I need to get back on this book.
Yeah, like for example, if I were to look on GPA and everything, this slab right here, if you count in shipping and everything, it'd be about $100, and maybe a little more, maybe a little less. So I currently have it on eBay for $115 or best offer, and it's a CBCS. I use GPA; they only have CGC pricing, so I price it based off the grade in the book. It's a 9.8, issue 36, last issue of the original Batman Adventures. So that's what should sell the book, not who graded it. I mean, the only thing who graded it should tell you is if you should actually give the book a second thought. Like if it's a PGX, I'm going to pass it over. But if it's EGS, depending on the price, he's pretty good with his grading. And if it's the other two, it just depends on the price.
Yeah. It's and to go on good news, CBCS will be at Fan Expo this weekend. My convention. A lot of people have canceled because of the whole pandemic situation, but I'm excited to see them out there, and I actually might submit some stuff or get some stuff signed and let them grade it.
Oh, and that's another difference. We know we were reading off the new pricing for CGC and their pricing for the Signature Series. Fun fact, CBCS does not have a Signature Series price for their books. You simply pay for the book here cost, and if it's witnessed, it's an extra $5. And if they got to take it through their system and see if it's real, it's $25 for the first, and I believe $15 for each additional. There's no $5 for the printout sheet that CGC charges, and there's no extra charge just because it's Signature Series. All they do is change the color of the label and say, "Hey, this guy signed it."
A lot simpler.
Mm-hmm.
So. We're kind of going on a tangent with the CGC thing. I don't know if you had anything else to talk about them, but
I was about to say we were about 1 hour, 32 minutes. Thank you, everyone. We got up to like 10, 11 people watching. That's pretty good for me. So
and multiple people jumped on. Yeah.
I think the bulk of, if you want to know what the differences are, I think that's like the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But we discussed basically, throughout the whole thing. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to the guys that popped on for popping on. And we're going to get out of here and see you later. Who-dat, you want to plug Thursday?
Thursday night, which is tomorrow, we're going to have a smaller auction. Meaning smaller, it's going to be probably like 4 or 5 panel members, including myself. But auction tomorrow, 7 Central. Go for about 3 hours, so you probably see a lot of rounds from the 4 to 5 sellers because normally I have 6 or more. So just be on the lookout for that tomorrow. From 7 Central is going to be around the start time. If I'm running late, you guys will know, but 7 Central is the start time in case something happens. You'll see myself, Big Will. I think Sands Group's going to be there. And I'll see who else wants to join in, because as far as that, it's only us 3, which I'm perfectly fine with. Like I said, we'll try to get some stuff going with that. Oh, Tony Sanders probably going to be there. So it'll probably be just us 4. So come get some books, get some good deals, and, have some fun.
I'll be the white chocolate. Anyway, see you guys later. Thanks again for watching.